Welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, and I am with
Miguel Ramirez. Much better.
I'm just trying to switch it up. You know, it's just like
go ahead, switch it
up.
up.
The one before was pretty funny, but whatever. You know, it's like, hey, what's up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast,
where we talk about butt plugs.
Yes, that's what I said in our first recording. And he's like, delete.
Yeah, anyway. What's happening, babe? Fucking going crazy.
The freaks come out at night.
Yeah.
The freaks come out at night. That's my song right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super freak also.
Super freak. Dude, that's one that we need to, you know, freaky. Anyways. So I am a little strung out on caffeine because it's a little late. And I noticed, I used to always say that I was a night owl.
Yeah.
Always, always, always. And I felt like I was a night owl. Yeah. Until I started waking up at 4:30 in the morning. And today I even slept in a little.
Yeah.
And we're having to record late because we are leaving to New York tomorrow. And so I just feel myself coming down. I'm getting tired. I'm like, I need some crack.
Well, it's been nonstop. Just every day we got something. And these kids with the school, holy shit.
It's like there's always something. And it's so crazy because we come from the west side of Phoenix, Arizona, right? The crazy west. And I don't remember there being so much activity and parent involvement.
So today we had what was it? A science fair?
A science fair.
A science fair. And that place was packed.
It was.
It smelled like shit.
It did not smell like shit.
It did smell like
just
farts,
hot.
though. It smelled like farts, and there was a lot of people in there.
You're surrounded by tons of kids. You're going to smell ass, okay?
Yeah. There was one kid that walked by. I was like, oh, shit. But and then tomorrow we're leaving, and Joey has a choir recital or something.
Yes. And that's
at first I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to that shit. But then it's like,
that's not fair.
All right.
I know.
We got to go.
Yes, we got to do it. And there's just so much going on within a short amount of time, and we're leaving.
We're looking for gloves, snow gloves in Arizona.
I don't even know how to. Yeah, it's like, how do you dress for the snow? I don't know. I don't know. You know, layers upon layers upon layers. So having to shop for stuff. Exactly. Snow gloves. Where do you find snow gloves?
In Phoenix, in Mesa. But luckily we found some. They got some. But you guys may have noticed that normally we would do our plugs.
Yes.
Right around this time or before this. Mm-hmm. But this past last weekend at Thanksgiving, we were talking to one of our nieces.
Yes, Nicole.
Yeah, and she was we said what was she was talking about buying something on Amazon?
She was talking about buying something on Amazon. I'm like, I know you're going through our link, right? And she's like,
what are you talking about? What link?
I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you just tell me you're caught up with all the podcasts?
So, well, yes. She said that whenever
throwing you out there, girl.
So she probably skips the beginning.
That's what she said.
And then she just cuts it off at the end.
Yes. Like, yes.
So from now on, we'll just be throwing the ads in there from time to time, and you won't know when they're coming. So.
Yes. But you know what? Come on. We all do that.
I do it.
Yes. Like, okay, remember that time when we were watching regular TV with Joey? I don't remember. Oh, I think you were looking for a certain cartoon. I don't remember.
Oh, and it was Dragon Ball Z.
And share with him what he said.
Oh, he was like, the commercials.
He was pissed.
Because the app, like, it played like 2 or 3 minute commercials.
Yeah, like regular, back in the day.
But no, it wasn't just like back in the day because it would play the same commercial 3 times. And he was like, what the heck?
He's like, what's going on? Yeah. Like, we have it. We're so spoiled today. But even on the ads on YouTube.
Now they're doubling them up.
Skip, so we don't, look, we don't hold that against you guys, but
it's whatever.
We figured it out. So guess what? We
got something for you.
Yeah. So we're going to go visit your family.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
I am.
It's been a while. His grandmother is solid. like that lady, how old is she?
She's 90.
She's 90.
Yep.
And she still has that fierce fire inside of her.
Yeah. Well, we got to go see her. It's been a while since we've seen her.
Yes.
So,
but she's a fighter. I'm saying every time we
she's been
call
a fighter,
her,
like her whole life.
Yeah.
She's been scrappy.
You come from a strong line of women. You know, I remember my grandmother being that way too.
She's a passionate woman too.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right word. Now I know where you get your temper from.
Yeah.
Remember that one time when she thought we locked her outside? Share with them about that.
Was it in New York when we went to New York?
No, baby. It was when she came to visit us in Arizona.
It was in the garage.
She got all upset.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly but I remember her being pissed off. Yeah, because she thought we locked her in the garage or something.
We left or something. I don't remember.
No, we didn't leave her.
It was something weird. No, I don't remember. It was been so long ago.
I think that she just couldn't open the door.
Yeah.
Something happened. Like the door was stuck or something.
It was hilarious.
She was pissed. She was not happy.
She was super pissed, and we're like,
she was like
what's
80,
going on?
She was like 83 at that time. She was ready to whoop some ass.
She's like, if you guys don't want me here, no.
She's like, I'll leave. Those of you that know my grandmother know that that's true. She's like, if you don't want me here, I'll leave now.
Yeah. It was just like a big old miscommunication.
Yeah.
You know, anyways, because our door automatically locked.
Was that what it was?
I think that's, yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So anyways, we've had a pretty crazy week.
It's been insane. And we say that all the time, but this week, I mean, just with the, having to get ready.
Yeah.
But
I think people can relate because I think we're not the only ones that have a crazy ass life.
You know what this reminds me of? Home Alone.
Home Alone.
You know when they're packing, getting ready to go out of town, and the whole and then one of our kids is getting left behind on this trip.
Joey's My sister calls him Home Alone all the time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, yes, but you know what? I'm so grateful. I am so grateful that I'm able to do what I do. And I thank you for that as well. Because of you having a full-time job, it's allowed me to fulfill my dreams. Really? No, wrong one. Oh. Those are our sound effects from our Roadcaster.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. But no, because if I had a full-time job, how in the world would I, having to pack, get the house situated?
Yeah, true.
Get the shopping done, like getting all of that done. Could you imagine if I had a full-time job, you had a full-time job?
It is nice that you can rearrange your schedule and decide when you want to work.
Yes. So I'm very grateful for you. Oh, here we go again. Miguel's really digging this. By the way, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah. Me too.
Finding our first guest out of state that we can get to call in.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Or getting you guys to call in with questions.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that. And we'll plan it out better.
Right.
We'll put out a post so that you guys know when to call in, or you can send us your number and we'll call you. We got to figure out the phone number thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we got to figure out
because if
how
this
that
thing
works.
starts becoming more public, I don't know if you just want to give everybody your personal phone number.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And then this thing stays out there forever because it's on YouTube or...
You can buy a line, though.
Yeah. We'll figure that out. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear about that.
No. Yeah, but maybe they do.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So what you have on your agenda today, babe?
Nothing much. I mean, it's been crazy. But you know what? We've been watching a couple new shows. One of them, that Unnatural Selection.
Mm-hmm.
That show is pretty crazy. For those of you that don't know about that show, it's a show on Netflix, and it's about like genetic engineering. And there's this technology called CRISPR where they can modify your genes. So pretty much like they're saying like in the future, if you want a tall kid, like let's say your parents
with
or
blue eyes.
Let's say you guys are both short and you want a kid that's like 6'7".
Right.
They can modify the genes and make that kid tall. They can make the kid have blue eyes.
That's just...
So you could be white as shit and you can have a black baby. But it'd be your baby. That'd be freaking nuts.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
I'm
and the other one.
I'm gonna get me an Asian baby.
Oh, I've always wanted an Asian baby. I told you.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's adopt one of those.
Come out like, oh, hello.
And the other show,
What's that?
is it the same? No, where they freeze the bodies?
No, that's something else that we kind of stumbled upon that, we kind of learned about, which is pretty nuts. And we'll in the future, maybe we'll be able to get somebody, from that on here. But it's about cryonics.
That's what it is, cryonics.
And that, like, they kind of go hand in hand, because so the cryonics is like when people pass away,
yes,
they have the option of having their body frozen so that hopefully they can be brought back when the technology allows us to. Yeah. Or that's what their thought is. Yeah. That in the future, like right now, we don't have the ability to do that, but if they keep them frozen in the future, maybe 100 years from now or 200 years from now, they can bring them back.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Crazy stuff.
It is, but you know what? I don't know, man. I don't feel that's something that I would be interested in doing.
Why not? I kind of thought about it.
Because when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Like, I want to live. You know what? I don't know. Maybe it's with the whole spiritual thing, but I just feel that when our time is up, our time is up.
So I was thinking if I could come back with people that I care about, then I would consider it, because why come back if I'm just going to be all alone and having to figure out, one thing I thought was, I was telling you, is kind of like, I would think not only do you have to come back, but there's got to be some kind of a program to put you back into society if they can even pull that off,
Yeah.
Because it'd be like being in prison.
Right.
Like if you're locked up for, it would be worse because if you're locked up for 30 years, if you were just getting out now, cell phones, internet, like the internet wasn't around when you went to jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it was in its infancy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have no idea what the actual, maybe you have an idea, but you haven't been around it.
Yeah.
This is even on another level. 200 years later.
I can't imagine. Like,
so anyway,
that's nuts.
Maybe in the future we can get someone on and we can ask them
we
some
know
questions.
somebody that knows somebody who says it.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. But another thing that I was kind of thinking is like with religion, a lot of times that is like hope that it's not over when you die. You know what I mean? Like, be a good person because if not, what's going to happen? There's an afterlife that you're coming back to, right?
Yeah.
That's a big reason for doing the right thing, isn't it? You're being yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to hell. You want to come back so that you can live in the beautiful afterlife or whatever. This is kind of another version of that for people that believe in science, I guess. Like it's not over.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But anyway, but that combined with that other show, that Unnatural Selection, like if they can fix genes that are messed up or even like stem cell, like the stem cell technology, like instead of doing surgeries, like they shoot people up with stem cells. Right. Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. Yeah. And if you have problems and they can shoot stem cells in you and freaking change your, do some genetic engineering and then defrost you, like that shit is insane.
Yeah, just like you said on we were watching, Miguel was sharing with me a video from ABC, or it was news.
It was 3 years ago.
Yeah, where this gentleman was, walking, and slipped and
he was
bumped his head.
He was in Pennsylvania, and he was leaving a party, snowing. And it was late.
Yeah,
and he slipped on ice or something and hit his head. And he fell into a ditch, and he stayed there overnight. Like he froze.
Yes,
and
he was pronounced dead.
They found him the next day in the morning, and they said that he had been dead for hours. Mm-hmm. And
There was this one doctor.
Yeah, the one doctor that decided that he wasn't going to give up on the guy.
Yep.
And they said they did CPR for like 2 hours.
That's just insane.
For freaking 2 hours. And then they had, I don't know if it was like it was like a pump. I don't know if, I guess it was for his blood, but they like slowly raised his temperature and they were pumping his blood or whatever back through his body. And after.
He lost they said all his toes.
Yeah,
like
he lost all his toes. He
like
lost his 2 pinkies. But he went from like no activity to a full recovery almost.
Right. Yeah.
That's
freaking insane.
So like when you think about the cryonic stuff, like it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But like shit, that's a pretty, I mean, that's a, I don't know, that kind of gives you some hope that they could do something.
Yeah. It's nuts.
I wonder if there's any other cases of that. That's the only one that we've seen, but we'll look into it.
So podcasting, recording, this isn't easy. Like it's difficult. For me, it's difficult.
Is it difficult for you?
It is.
Oh, tell me about it. How is it difficult for you?
You're such a jerk off. I'm serious because you know how I am, like emotionally. Like I wear a lot of my emotions on my shoulder. I'm very in tune with me. And if I'm feeling a certain way, you freaking jerk.
Yeah.
Like you could just turn it on. Like you can just turn it on. Like, let's go record a podcast. And me, like, I have to get my mind right. Like I have to get my spirit in check. I got to get my, like, I got a woo-saw.
I need to get a gong sound effect.
I am so serious. No, it is. It's mentally, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
For me to, because I can't sit here
and fake it. Are you
like,
saying that I fake it?
You can.
I don't fake. I'm not faking it now. I mean,
I'm just saying,
when
like,
it's time, the thing is that
you're like when it's time to take care of business, it's time to take care of business. You turn it on.
Exactly. But that's with everything. That's not just the podcast. When it's time to go,
I know, baby.
It's time to go.
But with me, because when I get on here, I want to give them the real me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And if my mind is not right, like if I'm upset or sad or angry, that shit is coming out.
So let it out.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't. You make it seem so easy. You guys get me. I know my people that are watching, they understand. You just can't get up spotlight. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to build me a meditation room or, dude, I need something. And you know what it is? And usually music, like upbeat music, used to get me, I don't know, like in tune. But now it's like I need quiet. Like I need my space. I need my time.
We need to talk to that David Hall again. You're turning into an introvert.
Shut up.
You need the silence and the gong. So the other day, I walk into our bedroom, and what were you doing your makeup?
Yes, I took a shower. I took a shower.
Yeah.
I was listening to.
Yeah, so you were doing your makeup. I
had my candle on.
I think what it was, I had to do something in the bathroom, and I was brushing my teeth or something.
You were in my
space.
And
I had the door open. It's our bedroom. But I had the door open, and I can hear, obviously, whatever you're listening to. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And all I hear is fucking shit like this.
That's not.
And fucking gong sounds. It's like, bong. I'm like, what the hell are you listening to? And now you're going to send me your mind.
There was no talking.
No.
There was no talking.
What is going on here? So I had to put on Jocko.
Oh my gosh. And drive me.
Just kidding.
No, but serious. Because so when you wake up in the morning, say it's the weekends, okay? The weekend. And Miguel listens to Jocko and Joe Rogan, and they're talking, and every other word is a cuss word, curse word.
But Joe Rogan cusses.
Yes, and I'm
cussing
just like,
really affects you.
I don't know why though. It just
because you're a baby.
Kiss my ass.
It's because you're a baby.
Kiss my ass. Wah! You need to get one of those. But it does. I don't know why it does. It just does.
Yeah.
And anyways, it drives me freaking bananas because I'm waking up and I'm like, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm like, oh my God. Like Nito listens to that debating crap where it's like
political
they're
stuff,
screaming at each other and talking shit. And I'm like, hey, dude, can you get some earplugs? Because I can't deal with that. Like it's arguing and you're messing with my energy. And I feel like I'm getting sensitive to that, like even more so. It's just, I want to stay in my happy zone.
Yeah.
Happy zone.
I'm going to put a gong on this thing. So whenever you start getting into that mode,
do that. And I'm going to have a shoe and I'm going to hit your dong every time you do that.
The gong dong.
Your gong dong.
But actually, you know what? Speaking about politics, that's something that I was thinking. I don't know what you think. I didn't bring this up to you, but I think it would be kind of cool because neither one of us are like fixed on anything.
I'm a liberal.
Mm-hmm. You're a liberal? What is that? You're a liberal snowflake?
I'm independent.
You're a lefty fucking snowflake, or
I didn't know
you were a communist.
Shut up. Nito had me take this test.
Yeah.
And he was asking me these questions and I was just answering and he's like, holy crap.
Well,
I never thought you would.
You know what? It's probably, I think we've talked about it on one of our previous podcasts. And if you want to check out our previous podcast, make sure you go to oppositesattractpod.com. You can subscribe there. You can subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and everything is on there. Also, if you go to the support the show tab at the top and you want to do any shopping on Amazon, you can find our Amazon link there and it doesn't cost you any more money. But
zero.
Anyway, so now I completely forgot what the hell I was talking about. But
politics.
Yes. So I took that there's a website called I Side With.
Uh-huh.
isidewith.com and vote. I think it's Vote Smart or Vote Easy. Whatever the website is, if it's Vote Easy, there's an app on there called Vote Smart. And if it's called Vote Smart, there's an app on there called Vote Easy. So you guys can find it if you search it. But the cool thing is that it asks you a bunch of political questions, and at the end it will give you like who I said, like both of them. They'll give you like the candidates that are most like that think most likely the way you do or whatever.
Yeah.
And this time around, I think the top 3 that I got were more Democratic candidates. But the thing is, like, I'm not opposed to changing my mind. You know, if you can talk me into something, if you can trick me, you know, I'll go with it. No, I'm just kidding. But no, like if you bring up an argument and it makes sense, you know, like if I'm thinking something one way, I'm not opposed to listening to the other side. It's not like, oh, this is the way it is because that's the way I think.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, you're open-minded.
But one thing that I was thinking that would be kind of cool is what about having the kids come on and we can just talk to them about certain things.
Like?
Because they're so innocent and they don't know any better.
Yeah.
You know, like one thing that I asked Audrey the other day, she was sitting at the table. We were eating dinner or doing something. And I was just kind of curious. And I was like, hey, Audrey, what do you think about, like, do you know who Donald Trump is? And she's like, yeah, that's the president. I mean, she's 10. So obviously she knows who the president is. But I was curious to see if she thought he was good.
Yeah.
Or if he was bad.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, do you think he's good? And she's like, I think she said something. She's like, I don't know. I think he talks crazy or something like that. Like she knows that he's a little nuts. But she didn't really feel like he was good or bad. I think she was leaning more towards bad. But she didn't really have, you know, it didn't seem like she was dead set one way or the other, which is good.
Yeah.
But like they don't know any better. Mm-hmm. So just sharing with them something,
it would be
topic,
funny.
Just to see what they think, and then you share the other point of view and see if they feel like the wall.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, do you think it's a good idea to build a wall? You know, to keep people out, you know, and you know, but there's also bad people that want to get into this country, and that helps keep them out. So we want to keep our people safe, but if you kept everybody out, then you wouldn't have, like, we came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and just to see the way a little kid's mind works.
Yeah.
And then we can start brainwashing them and indoctrinating them into what we think.
That sounds like a great idea.
But we could do like a little segment like politics with kids. Like every once in a while we can research a topic, both sides,
hey, you know,
and share it with them.
Though, too. I don't know where I seen this, whether it was on Facebook, but they asked kids, where do babies come from?
Yeah.
And then they started like just
The
having
shit that
different.
they say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so funny. Yeah.
Do they tell them at the end?
No, they didn't. It was just like a quick deal.
Yeah.
Just them asking different kids and what the kids would come up with. I started laughing when you were talking because I read something on your list that made me laugh.
What?
Vietnamese people go out to eat menudo.
Well, no, that's just something.
that?
Yeah, so I got my notes over here of stuff that I've been thinking about.
So you're peeking. I'm like, what the hell's that?
So,
but that is kind of funny.
so
right?
today
Yeah.
we went out and we had pho.
You
And
not
no, and it was good.
it's
So
really
so they
good.
had me
This place.
they
is
had
the
me
shit.
try something new. I don't know what the hell what it was called, but we always get the same exact thing every
Yeah.
time we go. And we
Yeah.
think about getting other things,
But
and then we
we're
never
like,
do.
nah. Yeah.
We get the same thing. So I told the guy, and he was like, "Oh, you like this one?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." And
the noodle.
but I was like, it was something that was spicy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't eat stuff that's very spicy. I'll
You
have a
do
little
well.
bit of spice.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah. So I asked him, and he's like, "Oh, not too spicy. You Mexican, it's okay." And I was like, "Well, I'm not Mexican, but." He's like, "You be okay, no problem." And but then I was thinking, so they bring the food out, and I'm
Funny.
thinking to myself, like, this looks just like menudo.
That's what I said. I'm like, that looks like.
And then
menudo.
I get the thought, like, we're Hispanic,
right.
you're Mexican,
Yeah.
and it's like we're going to a Vietnamese place to go
Yeah.
eat, and they work there.
Right.
Like, I wonder when they're out of work, like on the weekend, they get fucked up and like, "Oh, we need menudo," or it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if they go get like Mexican food.
Oh, that's funny.
But
That's why I read that. I'm like, what the heck's he talking about? Dude, but those noodles were slimy.
they were weird.
Yeah, they were. Like they just slithered down your throat.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll get that one again. I'll just stick to
And
the
you don't
regular
even know
pho.
what was the name of it.
I don't know. It wasn't pho. It was something else, but it was some kind of a soup. But I thought, I told you that like there's like some kind of Vietnamese tamale in this thing,
Right.
because it looked like it was wrapped in something, like
Yeah.
it was made like that. I don't know. It was weird.
So today, I'm downstairs and the phone's ringing. And I grab it and I'm like, Canyon Rim, and I'm thinking something happened to the kids. So I answer the phone and it's Audrey. She's like, "Mommy," and I'm like, "Hey, baby." I'm like, "What's up?" She's like, "Today's Wednesday." I was like, "Oh," because I take the kids lunch every Wednesday. I either take them Chipotle or In-N-Out, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Are you coming today?" I said, "Didn't I make your lunch?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, but today's Wednesday." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm packing your clothes." But she called me.
Yeah.
Even though she's like, "I got my lunch, but I want my Chipotle,"
Yep.
And I think with that, like, I haven't brought it to her attention, but there's times where the kids, they complain or they're like, "Oh, Mom, you're not going to be here," or, because I have to work late, but they don't realize, that because I build my own schedule, I'm able to go to lunch. I'm able to go to, like, Joey's having a recital at 1:00. I'm able to go to that recital at 1:00.
You don't have to go to that
Because-
recital. We're going to that recital later in the evening too,
I know, but if he wants me to go,
I guess.
and that's the thing though. I haven't brought it to their attention saying, sometimes Mommy can't be here,
In this neighborhood,
But-
we have a lot of like parents that stay home with their kids,
Yes.
moms or whatever that stay home with the
Yes.
kids or dads.
so they think it's the norm.
And they do stuff during the day, and it's like, don't people work anymore during the day? I get in the evening, there's
I know.
usually there's like a recital or something after
Yeah.
work hours,
Yeah. But it's
but
packed.
they have both.
Yeah. And it's packed during the day. Like when I go to their
Yeah.
events during the day,
Yeah.
like it's packed.
It's freaking
I
nuts.
remember in the West Side, it wasn't like that.
You ever remember having your parents go to lunch?
No. And that's another
I
thing.
don't remember.
I don't even remember. I was in volleyball. I don't remember. My mom didn't go to one of my games.
Yeah.
I was in choir. I don't remember her being there, but too, my mom, she had to work because she was a single mother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she had
Taking
to do
care
what
of
she had to
business.
do. But, the kids today, they don't realize how good they have it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. We always go out of our way.
Yeah. That's something that we were talking about yesterday. And like with the Christmas tree, the Christmas lights, just everything. It's like, that is not something that I enjoy doing, putting up lights outside.
I do.
And like I made a decision at one point. I was like, I am not getting up on the house. I will buy lights that shine up on top of the house, but I am not getting up on the house doing that shit anymore.
See,
because if I fall off that thing, show is over.
Shut up.
So screw that. But
so that's another where we're totally different, because while he's outside cussing and kicking lights and kicking shit outside,
fucking trying to untangle lights and shit,
and I'm dancing with Audrey to Christmas music, and we're getting ready to decorate the tree, and we're just all having a good old time, and Michaela was here,
and I'm
my
drinking
stepdaughter.
Eggnog.
And I love those memories. I love those memories because those are memories that are going to last a lifetime. Like they're going to remember mommy and daddy, you out there kicking shit. They're going to remember me.
Well, the thing is that you know why? One of the main reasons why I'm outside kicking shit? Because I'm the only one outside kicking shit. The kids are outside for 2 seconds and then they run inside and they're fucking dancing with you. And then I'm outside fucking untangling lights.
Well, maybe it's because they feel your energy.
Cords. But
you're like, I'm going where the good energy's at.
Maybe.
Mommy's dancing, having a good time. I'm going, mommy.
But you know what? Like, that is something that I've talked about before. Just like having a real tree. Like, that's something that we didn't have. But I wanted to like make little traditions with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, hey, every year we go and we get a tree. They come and they help us pick out a tree.
Yeah.
And every Thanksgiving that weekend we put up the lights.
Yeah.
And then we take them down.
The pumpkin pie for Audrey.
Making the pumpkin pie. Yeah, I made her a pumpkin pie because she's got celiac disease, so she can't eat gluten.
Yeah.
And so I made her a pumpkin pie this year.
Yeah.
And she liked it.
And Joey
likes it.
Joey's so cute. So Joey, you both made that pumpkin pie.
Yes, we both made it.
And so Joey said, I remember he loves gluten-free crap. Kid's doesn't even have celiac, but loves the stuff. And he loved that pie. And he said, Daddy and I did a good job, huh, Mom?
Yeah.
I said, yes. And then when you guys cut the tree, he was like very proud of that.
Yeah.
And
that stuff takes effort.
Yeah.
And, I think like we were talking about yesterday, like you can say whatever you want, but in the end, they'll remember the actions. And it may take some time. It may take some years. It may take for them to have their own kids to realize like, fuck, man, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. But my kids are asking me to.
Right.
And shit, my dad always used to take me to the park. My mom always used to, do this with me or they were always around doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided, because there's times where, I'm working late and I try not to do it too often, but I would say 3 days out of the week, I'm working late.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the decision that honestly, to give me peace of mind, really, because you know how I am. If I start to feel guilty, like,
everything
and I
falls
think
apart.
this is where I tend to sabotage my success, because Mr. Harold Branch, who's a mentor of mine in Legal Shield, once told me that. He's like, Sonja, he's like, I don't know what it is. He's like, but once you get to a certain spot, you always tend to sabotage your success. And I'm like, but why would I do that? Like, I want success. Like, I don't understand. And I still don't understand that today. You know what I'm saying? But I know that it's something that I do, and I don't know why. Now with Trust Inc.,
I've told you why, but you need to hear it from somebody else.
I don't remember you telling me anything.
It's because of balance.
Oh, and maybe that's why with Trust Inc. I feel like I haven't done it because I'm gaining that balance. Don't you feel?
And you are gaining that balance. And like the going to lunch with the kids on Wednesdays.
Yes. So the reason why I did that was because the nights, that I was staying out late, I figured, you know what? I'm going to make Wednesday our day. And every Wednesday I'm going to take them lunch, like every Wednesday.
Yeah. And that's a day that they get off early.
Mm-hmm. And I take that day off. So
and I don't usually, if I don't have a tournament coming up or whatever, I don't go to jiu-jitsu on Wednesday. None of us go to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hang out.
So that's our family day. So I'll make dinner and we'll just hang out with the kids, watch a movie or do what we do, even though we've been super busy. But in order to have that balance, and you're right, it was the lack of balance because I was so focused.
Can you say that again? I need to get that. I'm going to make that a sound effect. You're right. Miguel, can you say that? No. I'm going to cut that up.
But because I just reckon, like I was saying right now, I don't think I've had that issue with Trust Inc. But it's because I feel like I'm finally gaining that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you want to call it balance because there's really, never like a balance. It's just figuring out what's important to you and making it work. And you guys are important to me. And I know that if I start to feel guilty, then I just will shut it all down. Like I will shut it down.
Yeah.
And that took me years. That took me 12 years to learn. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
12 years. Because I realized like all the time that I was putting in Legal Shield, like all the time and all the money was not worth the time that I missed with you guys because I was so focused on the business itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
because when you're going so hard, like at a certain point, you see like everything that you're missing out on.
Yeah.
You start feeling guilty, or at least in your case.
Yeah.
You would start feeling guilty, and then it's like, you know what? And then when you're like, I gotta get back with the family, and then you just kind of shut everything down.
Yeah.
Which is horrible for the business.
Right.
Because you can't go from working to not working at all.
Right.
But if you have that balance, then you never really stop working. You're just you just kind of schedule around.
Yeah. And
But
I think another thing that was really difficult that, maybe some of you, it's hard to cut off or it's hard for change, right? Like doing something different when you've been doing something for so long.
Yeah.
And even in a job, like there's so many people that are not happy with where they're at right now. They're not happy with their job. They're not happy in their relationship, whatever it may be. But because change is so scary and so difficult, they never let it go.
Yeah.
Like with Legal Shield, I was in Legal Shield and I loved the services, and I was very passionate about the business itself. But then I felt myself kind of, the
passion.
Yeah, started to just, I don't know what it was. It just, I found something else that I was very excited for, more passionate about. And it was difficult, like to not focus on Legal Shield full time. You know that? Like it was a struggle.
Well, because that was your identity for so long.
Yeah. And I felt that I was Legal Shield.
Yeah. Like everybody, whenever they saw you, it was like, hey, the Legal Shield lady.
Right. And I know that for some people, what the heck?
We got kids running around upstairs. I thought we chained them up.
But it's difficult, when you're think about that, when you've been in a relationship for a very, very long time and you were in one prior and you weren't happy, but you stuck in because you had a kid.
Yeah.
Why
are you putting my business in the streets?
And people do that like a lot.
Well, yeah, especially when you've been in a relationship for, I don't know. I don't know because I haven't had that experience, but I just am trying to imagine, like if you've been in a relationship for a long time, like 10 years, but it's been a difficult relationship to be in, but you're used to having somebody around all the time. Like the thought of getting an apartment and moving out and being by yourself after being with somebody for so long, even if it was tough, I don't know, it's kind of hard to deal with, I would think.
Yeah. I think, and this is a very touchy subject, but
I think that's also has to do with security in yourself.
It does, like confidence, because I do believe that my sister that passed away.
You're going to put, oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk about your other. I was
no,
like, you're going to put her business in the streets?
My sister that passed away, she was in that. She was in that situation.
Yeah.
Where she was not happy, but she didn't have enough confidence in herself.
Yeah.
To let that relationship go. Yeah. And she was unhappy for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways. Yeah. So.
Balance. Find balance in everything.
Yeah.
Actually, talking about finding balance, that book that I was talking about, I don't know if I talked about it last week, but Leaders Eat Last.
Mm-hmm.
There was one part that I forgot to mention on here, but they were talking about, like, for kids. I mean, it makes sense, but for kids socially and for them emotionally, it's better for them to have parents that love their work, but are not home as much because they work a lot, than to have parents that hate their work, but they're home all the time, or like they're home more. You know what I mean? Just because of the vibe that they bring back with them.
Yeah.
You know, it was something that they were talking about. I was like, damn, you know, so.
Well, I was listening to a show, and they were talking about unhappy marriages.
Yeah.
And some of these people stayed in the relationship for the kids. And once they split up, and the kid that they were talking to was older.
Yeah.
You know, college age. But he's like, I wish they would have split a long time ago, because my mom and dad are so much happier apart.
Holy shit. We're talking about freezing people on this podcast, parents splitting up. There's some serious shit we got going on here. And if you guys want to get split up, if you go to trustinkusa.com, you can check out our legal services. Trust Inc. is a mobile notary signing agency. And what else does Trust Inc. do?
Well, we notarize documents. We do a lot of work with law firms, title companies, and we are also independent associates of Legal Shield.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get a divorce like we were talking about, we might be able to help you with that. Also, any other legal services like consultation, document review, phone calls and letters written on your behalf, traffic tickets, stuff like that, they can help you out. Go to trustinkusa.com.
That's kind of good. That's kind of funny.
You like that?
Yeah. No, but
good luck figuring out when they're coming.
Serious stuff, though, man.
Yeah. No,
like,
for real.
You know, the kid was like, I wish they would have gotten a divorce a long time ago, because both of my parents are so much happier, you know, by themselves, because the kids can feel it. Like if they're in an unhappy relationship and you're acting more like roommates, and you're not affectionate and you're not loving and you want to kill each other, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's got to be toxic.
It's not good. And the kids feel that. Kids are so smart. They live in the now. Like, they are so present.
Yeah.
You know? And so when mom and dad, when you're having dinner, if they're even having dinner together, they can feel the vibes. They can feel what's happening. So staying in it, and I've told you this, like, I love you dearly, but I would not stay in this relationship just for the kids. Like, it's not fair for me. It's not fair for you. And it's not fair for them. So don't ever fuck up, because your mom said.
What the hell?
Because your mom said she'd kick your ass too. All right?
I know. My mom would leave me. She'd go with you.
Love you, Mom.
Well, the good thing is we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Even though you're talking about getting a therapist. Did you guys listen? Did you guys hear that?
No. on the video.
I think we should get a therapist.
I
like,
was
hold
just
up,
saying.
where is this coming from?
It would be nice to get somebody to talk
Listen,
to.
it's not
some
always
expertise.
bad, but it's not always bad. I'm just teasing. Like, honestly, I've been thinking about
I'm just
going.
saying. Well, yeah.
Because of things that happened in my past. And I know everything that happens to us as children, like it will surface.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your success, your business, whatever it is, it surfaces and you never know where it's going to come out.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever junk I have in my past, junk in my trunk, not this trunk because I want to keep that, but I want to let it go.
Don't lose that junk in the trunk.
Let it go. Let it go.
Adam Carolla was talking about on his he's talked about it a while back, but on his podcast, he said something about like seeing a therapist or like talking to like getting professional help from somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And like you're saying, like stuff from the past, it affects people in different ways. And you may think like, I'm strong and that doesn't affect me. Like I understand what happened when I was younger and I am who I am now. Right. Whatever. You may not understand. And that may be true for some people. But for others, you may not know exactly how it affects you. But one thing that he was saying was like, if you were the president of the United States and you went to see a therapist every week, right? You would have kind of like, people would look at it like, what's wrong with him?
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? As opposed to he's working on himself.
Right. Yes.
Like there's nothing wrong with that.
And the times are changing, by the way. In the past, that's how people used to look at it. Now
it's like, oh, you're seeing a therapist?
Right.
Are you fucking
like,
crazy?
Right. People like times are changing. Yeah. That's not how they're looking at it today. What?
We're gonna get a therapist. We're gonna walk in and start.
I am a therapist. Yeah. No, but Nikki said she's she knows a really good therapist. So maybe we could reach out to Nikki and see if we could get that therapist on the show.
Yeah.
So what, you just want to throw like our business out, like live television?
No. And we talk about all kinds of stuff on here. No, I'm just saying, like get their experience, somebody that's been doing it for a long time and seeing what helps couples, stuff like that. Stuff that helps couples be successful.
Yeah. Dude, it would be pretty cool to one day get Gary, what's his Chapel? Gary Chapman.
Chapman. Yeah.
Chapman.
The five love languages guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're actually going to see him in February.
So, and that's another thing that I wanted to mention. So we've been working on some stuff, or
logos?
I've been working on some stuff on logos for the podcast, which you guys will see with this podcast. The art will be changed. So you'll see our new logo. I'm getting it animated so that if you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook, there may be some animation. I got to see if I can figure that out. Yeah. But, just kind of little things to try to take it to the next level, little by little.
Yeah.
But recently,
I don't even know what that looks like.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
But one thing that I was thinking is that when we were working with Legal Shield, and this is just like a business, like if you have a side business or something that you do on the side.
Like a side hustle?
If you got a side hustle that one day you hope to make it your full-time thing, something that you have to do is you have to focus, which, to be honest, I haven't done with the podcast every day. I think about the podcast every day. But you have to do something every day. Like we were told that when we were working with Legal Shield. Like you can't just sit around and think, but you have to actually do something.
Yeah.
Something, anything, every day.
Right.
Talk to somebody, follow up, do something. And I think that doesn't just go for Legal Shield. Like same thing goes for the podcast. Like do something. Because there's days where I think about the podcast. I know I should probably put out a post or reach out to somebody or do something.
Yeah.
And I think about it. Maybe I, check the stats or check something, but it's not really doing anything.
Yeah. To move it forward.
I see what you're saying. Even if it's something small, do something every day.
Yeah.
So that's something that I was just kind of recently thinking. You didn't even know what button that was.
I didn't. I didn't.
You're a jerk.
I thought it was the one where they clap. No.
Yeah.
You need to put little labels right here.
They're right there. You
can't
can
see
you can
them.
read
They're
it.
way over there.
You don't need to see them. You
What the
just don't
heck?
touch.
Don't.
This
is. That's why he was trying to put the Roadcaster over there on his end,
No,
and
I'm
I'm like,
going to put it
excuse me. No,
over
you're
here.
not.
that I
Because
can mess
right here. Yep. No, I'm gonna have my own deal right here.
But you know, another thing that I was thinking
But
is like
that's
we have a nice setup here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like CJ from work, he's always telling. Actually, today we were in a meeting and they were talking about something, and you know me, like I'm thinking, I was like, well, shit, we could do that and sell it to Boeing and then make some money. And CJ's always telling, he's like, dude, you're always fucking thinking about ways to make money, like different,
I'm a hustler, baby.
Yeah. So like what happened was we have these bolts that have this coating.
Yeah, these bolts.
We got these bolts that have this coating. And like the coating that they have on them, you have to spray it on there, but they don't want you spraying it in this certain area. They don't want you spraying. They don't pretty much, you can't spray it outside because it goes into the freaking atmosphere or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what if we had a company where we get those bolts, we spray them, and we sell them back to Boeing?
Oh, gotcha.
That way you don't have to worry about spraying them. They're already done, and we sell
Right.
you the bolts already treated.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, we're going to die in like 3 years because we're going to be breathing all this shit in, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, that's a way to make money. But you know, he's like, damn, you're always thinking of something. But one thing that I've been thinking about is like this, like we have a nice setup here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little setup and it's in our house. But I was like, you know what, we have all this equipment and a lot of times, well, 90% of the time we're not using it.
Yeah.
We're not using it.
Oh.
And I was like, well, what if other people wanted to record a podcast? We have the setup and we could rent space to
That's
them
a good idea.
to use. The only thing is that this is in our house.
Right.
And we can't just let people into our house.
Yeah, but look, babe, look how it's set up. What are they going to see from here? You know what I'm saying? That's not bad.
Yeah, but you're still letting them into our house.
But we have guns, and there's a sign that
The
tells
sign
them that
doesn't
we
stop
practice
anybody.
our Second Amendment.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like in the future,
Yeah.
it would be cool because then it's not just a podcast, then it becomes a podcast network.
What if we run a space out or something?
That's what
Highest
I
space.
was thinking that.
Huh.
And you know what's
That's
fucking
a good idea.
What's fucking insane is, well, if anybody that knows us personally and you guys want to record a podcast, maybe we could work something out. But one thing that
Mike has an extra office.
hey, maybe. You know, I've done a lot of shit in here, so to like shut this thing down and move it somewhere else, I'd be like, what the hell? But actually, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, we would still have the wall. You're not moving shit. I'll be moving stuff.
No, we set this up. I was up
Actually,
with
yeah,
you
you
late.
did.
I had dust on
Yeah,
me.
you picked out the stuff and then
No,
I
I'm
brought
talking
it
about
in.
the wall. Damn it.
No, you did. You did.
Leticia, my friend, she the other day I was talking to her, and she's like, I like your guys' new setup. It looks awesome. And she started asking me these technical questions. She's like, so do you know where all your listeners, come from? And, what kind of setup do you have? And I started laughing, and she's like, okay, girl, you just show up, right? And say, give me that mic. And I said, I just show up and say, let's do it.
She starts asking you questions and you're like, you got nothing.
Yeah. But even doing my part, showing up is not that easy because I have to be here.
Yeah.
I have to be connected with my inner spiritual self
Yeah.
in order to show up, For
Yeah,
me, that's
I
a lot
guess.
of work.
You got to listen to your gongs
Yes.
before you come downstairs.
And your energy, I pick up on that, man.
Yeah. Well-
So next time, just, what I need you to do before the podcast is put on some ballet slippers and just dance your little happy ass around me. Okay?
Yeah, right. You know what? One thing I wanted to talk about was during Thanksgiving at your sister's house, we were playing a game with the family.
Uh-huh.
And for those of you that have like an adult family, like the kids are older. Well, I'm saying like the parents
No, I
are
get
older,
it.
kids
Yeah.
are older. Or even if you have like friends over.
Yeah.
This game is called Cards Against Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Did
those
you bring it?
Yeah, hell yeah. Because I last time, like I was trying to explain it, and it's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to explain this game.
Right.
But for those of you that want to play a game that's only for adults, I mean, I think it says on here ages 17 plus. This game is hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yes.
So
it's nasty too.
It can be. It can be. So here, just to give you an idea.
We have a lot of dirty-minded people in our family.
Here, just to give you an idea. To start the game, each player draws 10 white cards. The player who most recently pooped begins as the cards are and draws a black card. If Hugh Jackman is playing, he goes first regardless of how recently he pooped. And then there's all kinds of other crazy shit in here.
No, it's a fun game. It's a fun game, especially like, if you're like drinking, having fun with friends and just
But to give you an example, you have these black cards that give you points, and then the black cards, they have blank spaces in them. So everybody else has white cards, and one person picks out a black card.
Right.
And the white cards have writing on them. So like, let's say this black card here, it says, in Rome, there are whisperings that the Vatican has a secret room devoted to. And then there's people there's people that have white cards, and this white card that I just happened to pull out, it says pooping back and forth forever. So in Rome, there are whisperings that the Vatican has a secret room devoted to pooping back and forth forever. Or the answers on this thing are insane.
Yeah, hilarious.
So whoever draws the black card and is reading it, everybody else puts down a white card.
Right.
And they get to pick their favorite white card, the one that they like the most. Now, it could be something funny. Yeah. It could be something that they relate to or whatever.
So the name of the game, and it took me like 3 rounds to finally get this, but because I would put down the cards that I liked, but it's knowing the person who's actually reading the black card, like knowing them. What card are they going to like? What card are they more likely to choose? And that's the card that you want to put down. Because at first I was putting down the cards, the things that I thought were funny.
Yeah, so like if you know me and I have a fucked up sense of humor and you have a card that's really jacked up, then you might win that round.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
like,
anyway.
That's funny. Yeah.
But Cards Against Humanity, it's a freaking hilarious game.
Yes.
And if you're going to pick it up, you might as well go to oppositesattractpod.com. Click on the Support the Show tab at the top. You'll see our Amazon link. If you click on the Amazon link, it doesn't cost you any more, and you'll also be helping out the show.
Yay. So, good stuff, baby. Good stuff.
So one thing that I wanted to talk about was CJ from work. He was a while back. I guess he kind of took a bet. Like every once in a while in different workplaces it happens. But people take bets on like, hey, I'm going to lose. I bet you, let's have a bet on see who could lose the most weight or whatever. Yeah. And we've talked about how we've done keto for a while. And keto, for those of you that don't know, which keto is pretty popular, but, pretty much cutting out all the carbs and sugar and raising up the level of fat that you take in. And pretty much your body is using fat for fuel as opposed to sugar and carbs, right? But one thing that I think we may have mentioned it, but didn't really talk about was intermittent fasting.
Yes.
Which is something I was talking to CJ about a while back. And he was saying that it's tough. Like intermittent fasting is something that. So what that is pretty much every day you have like a eating schedule. So at the minimum, you have an 8-hour window to eat. So for 8 hours you can eat, and then for 16 hours you don't eat. You're fasting. Right. So pretty much water, black coffee, and more water. That's it. And sleeping is part of those 16 hours. So, but when you first start doing it, it can be tough. Yeah. How did you feel like when you first started?
So this is what's so crazy. I've always done it.
Yeah.
Like because I've always been so busy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't eat until 12, 1, 3 o'clock. And my mom would get on me all the time. People would get on me all the time. Like, that is so bad. You shouldn't be doing that. Blah, 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 blah. But I never felt bad. Like, I've always felt good. I always felt like I had good energy. And then all of a sudden it becomes a thing, and it is easy as shit for me because I've been doing it for so long.
Well, you've heard it from so many people like, hey, you're supposed to eat. And even when you're like trying to be healthier, like breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Right. Yeah.
And you're supposed to eat this many times a day.
Right. Yes.
But there's a lot of benefits. Obviously I'm not a freaking scientist, but you guys can look it up. Look up intermittent fasting and look up the benefits to intermittent fasting. But one of them is like your sugar levels. Whatever it helps with your sugar levels because you're not eating, so your body's not processing food all the time. And that's another thing, is that because your body's not processing food all day, your body can do other things, like repair other things, cells in your body or whatever. I don't, like I said, look it up. There's a lot of really good benefits, but the thing is that if you want to start doing it, you don't have to like just jump off the deep end and like not eat for 16 hours.
Yeah, and that's what most people do though.
With
everything. And then you end up wondering why you failed at it.
You do it for 3 days and you're like, fuck this sucks.
Right. And so it's the same. It's with everything in your life, though. Even going to the gym, like there's times where, you haven't been to the gym for years, and all of a sudden here comes the new year, and now you have this New Year resolution, and you're going to the gym like every day for an hour or 2 hours, and by the third day,
you can't even walk.
Right, and then you don't go back because you're so sore. And I think we tend to set ourselves up for failure every time we do that. Every time we do that. Like if you're going to start keto, don't do it 100%. Like slowly do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the gym, whatever it is. Yeah. You want to ease yourself into it versus just jumping in.
Yeah. You can ease into it, but also commit to it. If you want to, like, even if it's just like you're going to give it a shot, like commit to it for 2 months or whatever that time period is that you wanted. And that goes for everything. Yeah. Kind of like this podcast. I mean, we kind of just committed that we're just going to, and now it's just a thing. Yeah. So at this point, it's like, hey, this is what we do.
Yep. And if you get off track, because, I mean, we tend to, every once in a while, like something happens, we're not able to do what we said we were going to do or whatever, like today, the gym.
I want cookies.
Right? It's like, I had all this other stuff to do. And at first I was feeling like bad, but it's like, you know what? I'm going to get up early in the morning tomorrow and I'm going to knock it out. Like no big deal, whatever. But just, I'm going tomorrow morning and that is it, So if you skip, if you fall back, don't kill yourself and don't stop yourself from moving forward. Like, okay, shake it off and get back on track.
You see, that's the same thing that we were just talking about. Even with the business, like there's got to be balance. Yeah. Because you also have to know when you're bullshitting yourself. Yes. Yes. And when you're like, you know what, I earned it. It's like, you know you didn't fucking earn it. Get your ass back in there. Yeah. Or put down the fucking bullshit and eat something good. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like I told, because me, like I'll end up not going to the gym, not because I don't want to, but because I put everything, and it's crazy because I truly enjoy going to the gym, but I'll get busy. Like because I'm busy doing stupid shit, not being productive, just being busy mentally. Like I'm busy up here, which it gets me totally exhausted. But anyways, I've learned that even if I can get to the gym for 20 minutes, like even 20 minutes.
Do something, move around.
Yeah. And today I was moving, I was scrubbing, so that's why I didn't feel too bad. I wasn't just sitting around, eating chocolates. I was I was busy. I was, that's what I told him. You called me and you're like, what are you doing? I'm being Cinderella, but don't be so hard on yourself, but like you said, don't bullshit yourself either. Whether you earned it. Yeah. Just continue to move forward, get back on track, do what you got to do, get it done, get some.
Where the hell did that come from?
Just do it. Not
all of a sudden we got Jocko over here. Speaking of Jocko, last night I was watching this on YouTube.
You were up late, dude.
I was
Holy
watching
crap.
I was watching this stuff, but
you always fall asleep when I'm watching something I want to watch. Like you fall asleep on me, like
yeah, because the shit you want to watch sucks.
Your shit sucks too.
No, it didn't. So what I was watching, actually Jocko was in it, but it was from the History Channel. If you can look it up on YouTube if you want, but it's the story of Mark Lee, one of Jocko's teammates in the SEAL teams.
Oh, okay.
And we were fortunate enough to go to a fundraiser earlier this year, and we got to meet Jocko, and it was for the America's Mighty Warriors, and it's a nonprofit that was started by Mark Lee's mom. Mark Lee was the first Navy SEAL that was killed in Afghanistan or in Iraq, and that show, they had a show on YouTube from the History Channel, and it was pretty much a story of their platoon and all the shit that they went through and the kind of person that he was. And I need to get the last letter so that I can read it. Because that last letter, man, was like, for him to be the kind of person that he is. I mean, you think of these people that do this kind of stuff, like they're hardened individuals that are going after, they've seen the worst of people.
Yeah.
And you think of them as maybe like being cold or whatever. But when you read the last letter that he wrote home, you know, like a big part, a big message in that letter was just to be good to people.
Yeah.
You know, just do something nice for somebody else.
Be kind.
You know, and that's just the kind of person that he was. And it was crazy. And then after that show, there was another episode that came up. And that one was about Marcus Luttrell, which is, you probably don't know that one, but I don't know if you remember the movie Lone Survivor, where it was another group of Navy SEALs and they got stuck on a mountain and they sent a helicopter to go rescue them, and the helicopter got shot down and like 20 people died. And then they had to send in another unit to go try and recover the remains and try to find the SEALs. Turns out that there was, out of the 4 SEALs, 3 of them died, and there was only one that had survived. And he was like hiding, like trying to evade the bad guys. I mean, imagine being in Afghanistan all by yourself. That's some scary shit.
I can't imagine.
So he was, but anyway, that was the story of, that one came up next. So I watched that one. It was pretty cool.
I was listening to
I think it was called War Fighters.
Motivational speech. And
with gongs.
With some big gong dongs. No. And they were talking about like following your dreams and your passion. And he was saying that if you're good at something, like if you are Mary Callender, have you heard her story? Like she was working in a cafe.
Lady?
Yeah. She makes pies.
Yeah.
And she has restaurants. But she was working at a cafe, like she was a server. She was a server.
Yeah.
And the gentleman was going out of business. And she wanted to help him to save his cafe. And she's like, listen, I make really good pies. She's like, let me help you. Let me make a pie and let's see what happens. And she made a pie. And they sold, they sold the pie, like they were selling piece by piece, whatever, but it's sold. And more people kept asking for those pies. And she ended up baking pies, saving his cafe.
Damn.
And now she, you can't go into a grocery store and not find one of her pies, but it all started with one pie. And he's saying that, with school and education, like they don't teach us, like they're teaching the kids how to be great employees, not to follow their dreams. What is it that you want to do? What are your dreams? Where do you see yourself? Like they don't focus on that. Yeah. They focus on creating little employees.
And now there's no excuse for anything. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, you got the internet. There's so many ways, like what we're talking about, getting a logo made. I mean, you got websites, you got people out there that can do that stuff. It's not expensive. There's no excuses to get what you want to do done.
And another thing he was saying is that if you're good at something, give it away. He's like, even drug dealers know this. He's like,
He's like, give it away for free.
Give it away for free. And you want to know, think about how I'm working this group home now. Before I was volunteering, I was going out,
you were
speaking
doing it
a lot. I was doing it for free. And then someone said, you know what? Why not get paid for what you're doing?
Yeah.
Why not get paid for your passion? She said, and that's when she offered me. She's like, I'll pay you $125 an hour to go work with my group home.
It's the same.
Then that group home closed, and she referred me to another group home.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the podcast. Like right now, we're doing the podcast for free. But if you guys would like to support the podcast, you can go to oppositesattractpod.com and you click on support the show at the top. You'll find our Amazon link, and you're going to do some holiday shopping. So make sure you support the show by shopping through our Amazon link. You can also find the link to Trust Inc., where you can find the mobile notary services and the legal services. And it's pretty much time to get out of here.
That's right.
So thank you guys for being with us. Make sure you look out for the new changes, for the stuff that we have, coming out and going on. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Thank you. We love you. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.